I'm Lori Howell, and I'm the chair of Friends of Spring Garden Park. And we worked this past summer, we were awarded a grant to host a play date in the park, and it was in August 2010.
Excellent. Could you briefly summarize the project, or what did you set out to do or accomplish with the Spring Garden project?
Sure. Our main goal was to meet neighbors that were interested in the project. We wanted to talk with people who didn't know about the park, who didn't know what the property was for, and find out how many people were interested in it. We also wanted to engage people in the planning of the project and gather ideas, find out what people were interested in. And then our third goal was to get people outside playing. Our kids over the past few generations, over the past, well, maybe few decades, the last generation have spent less and less time outside playing. And so, you know, you see statistics all the time about obesity and ADD and diabetes. And so there are all these problems that are associated with kids not going outside to play. We want to get our kids outside playing, and so this property is really just intended, you know, for that. It is bound by busy highways. Spring Garden Park is located at 3332 Southwest Spring Garden Street, and it is between Dolph and Spring Garden Street. It's bound by Capitol Highway, Barber Boulevard, and Multnomah. And so, you know, in addition, Southwest Portland doesn't have sidewalks in most places. So kids don't really have a place to play and a place to go safely. So we want to use this Portland Parks property to get the kids outside playing.
Excellent. Could you talk a little bit about if your project was able to attract new and diverse membership to the Sweeney group?
Yes. The project was very successful. Our goal was to have 125 people show up, and even though it was the hottest day of the year in Portland, we had well over 125 people. We had a great day. We did berry face painting. We had Jennifer Siemens from the Southwest Watershed came out and organized nature scavenger hunts. We had a whole dump truckload of Oregon Beach sand delivered. We hid treasures in it. We had willow hut building activities. It was super fun. And we had, from the parents and the families that came, we actually had a few people join our committee. So out of that committee, we have a couple of new leaders. Katie is now our small grants writer. Nan Curtis, who stepped up to the plate to organize this activity, has taken on event planning for our group. So it's been really great to meet all these fantastic neighbors.
That's excellent. How did your project build new or strengthen existing partnerships with other organizations in the community or other groups in the community? Could you talk about that a little bit?
Mm-hmm. Well, we are partnered with the Multnomah Neighborhood Association, and Moses at the Neighborhood Association has been very supportive of our endeavor. He contacted me recently and encouraged me to partner with some other folks for another Sweeney O&I grant. The Bureau of Environmental Services, Jennifer Devlin, came to our event that day, was so happy she got to talk to so many neighbors about the daylighting project. They're daylighting a creek on the property. So we've definitely improved our relationships with our partners.
That's great. You know, was there one thing that really stood out that surprised you about the play date in the park?
Well, we hadn't intended it to be a fundraiser, and we ended up raising $2,200 that day. And it really surprised me the support that we got. People wanted to give, and they want to support the project. We have a $650,000 fundraising goal, so it'll take us a while to get there. But I was contacted by the Oregonian, and we had a small article in the community section of the paper about our fundraising. I've recently been contacted by a foundation who's interested in our project. And so I think it's helping build momentum and helping get the word out.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you have already found a little bit of new funding, or at least Katie with her grant writing has been helping out a lot. Do you have plans for continuing this project into the future? And have you worked out funding with O&I for next year, or what have you forward?
Well, we have we recently filled out an application for additional funding for the next grant cycle, and we're hoping to continue the momentum through the winter. It's harder to get people outside playing, and so we're hoping to build a kind of an information campaign through the winter. So we've applied for grants, we've partnered with the Multnomah Neighborhood Association, and so we're hoping to be awarded $1,500 and use a portion of that money to get some signage in the neighborhood and just inform more people about the park. And you know, we've been really grateful to the Office of Neighborhood Involvement and Sweeney. Pyle, Leonard, and Sylvia at Sweeney have been so gracious in hosting us and letting us use their conference room and support our activities.
Anything else, Gus?
Sorry. What would you say might have been some of the obstacles you faced in moving forward with the project?
Well, the $650,000 is our biggest obstacle, and with the small grant, I think we've had you know, just it's given us a chance to get the word out and to get, because people want this to happen in our neighborhood. They see this as an opportunity to, you know, spread the word and hopefully get some investment in the project.
Is there anything else or anything that we haven't asked about that you would want to share or make sure that people know about with the project? Or
Well, I guess just that it not only takes money to make a project work, but people power and being able to meet people that are interested, and if everyone takes on one slice of the committee, it makes it easier, and so I appreciate the chance to meet all these great parents, and I hope to meet more and more and just keep the momentum going.
Did you have any prior experience in doing public projects like this, or was this the first time you tackled?
Not in a neighborhood level. I've always been interested in political campaigns and fundraising on that level. But when I moved to Southwest Portland 2.5 years ago, we just kept looking at this piece of property thinking someone has to help us build a park here, because the kids there, the apartments around the neighborhood, the houses, they deserve a place to play.